early morning on the road today. Hey, hey. The sun is blazing on A1A.
Hi, Vampyresskiss. Um, yeah, and Angel's over there. He's kind of doing his own thing right now. We're not doing too many videos together, so I had to think of something to keep the channel going because our last video actually drops today, which is July 3rd, 2020. And I thought, well, maybe I will do something where I just kind of just tell you how I feel about things. I'm going to call it Vampy Raw. And today, my head itches. I'm going to talk about, because for some reason it seemed to be a lot on my Facebook page, so that's why I want to talk about it, um, about how people are not respecting the um, the mask, the face mask laws during the COVID thing, and tomorrow being the 4th of July, even though a lot of states, I know in our state here in New Mexico, we have a ban. There is no firework displays because of we're in a really bad drought right now, and last thing we need is a fire in a drought. So, but I do know that there's going to be fireworks displays, throughout the country, and of course people are going to go, and they're not going to wear their masks and stuff, and these people are um, talking about their rights and they shouldn't have to wear these masks and this and that. And this goes so much further beyond rights and your civil liberties and all those terms that those people are using. This is a decency thing. We have elderly, we have vulnerable, we have disabled people, we have people with pre-existing illnesses, we have babies, you name it. We have a lot of people in this country that can get sick and die. I mean, that's the facts. And anybody who's told you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about, because this is real. There is no hoax here. I mean, if this was a hoax, they've taken it far beyond what they need to take it. And it's not a hoax, it's real. And I don't really understand why people are not taking it seriously. I mean, I can see where a lot of people probably have issues staying at home, doing what they're supposed to. For myself, this transition has not been really difficult for me because, well, first of all, in the early 80s, I was agoraphobic, which, is the fear of leaving home and just the fear of everything, So I was homebound for a very long time, which, was kind of a precursor to this. And then I had Guillain-Barré in 1984, where it was basically the same thing. I was in fear of everything because I almost died with that. And I actually became a very obsessive compulsive personality because of that. Washing my hands constantly. I mean, in the wintertime, my hands crack and bleed. And I mean, they crack and bleed bad because I wash them so often. And I, pretty much since 1984, I try never to touch my face, my eyes, my mouth, my nose in public. And even at home, I will either, use my shirt if I have to itch my nose, or I will use a tissue. I try not to touch my face because I didn't want to ever get sick again like I got sick with the Guillain-Barré, or GBS as most people call it. And so that there wasn't an issue for me either. Now, wearing the mask, that's something new. That has been the hardest part for me through this whole thing, because I wear an N95 mask. Let me see if I've got one here. This isn't exactly like the N95 mask I'm wearing because mine has a breather on it right here. But it once you put it on, I pull all my hair back so I look like an idiot anyway, because I, if my hair even blows in my face a little bit, my face starts itching, and then, I've got to go, it doesn't itch, it doesn't itch, it doesn't itch, mind over matter sort of thing. And once you start breathing inside this mask, I don't know if other people are having the same issue, but my nose starts to run, and sometimes I will start choking and coughing, and it's very hard. And I won't lie, but I don't take it off no matter what. I leave that thing on until I get back out to my car. I wash my hands again, and then I touch the mask and I take it off and I stick it in my plastic bag. Unless, of course, I'm going to another store, then I don't take it off. I leave it on until I get to the next store. But I see a lot of people. I mean, our governor just issued an order that if you're not wearing a mask, you're going to get fined $100. Well, I mean, I was in Walmart yesterday because I thought because we have an uptick in this state right now. It's not like the second wave; it's the first wave, 1.2. And in our county alone, which our county is Valencia County, it's not a real big county. It's one of the smaller counties here in New Mexico, and there's not a lot of people in this county. And in our county, we have gone from, okay, I can't tell you the numbers, but we've gone up like 31 cases in about an 8-day period of time, which this is the first time that's ever happened. So obviously people are doing something they're not supposed to be doing. I can't figure it out because I don't think that there was a lot of protesting during the the Black Lives Matter thing. I don't want to get into that. That isn't part of why I'm doing this. I'm not sure why. Jamie said something about she thought maybe it was Father's Day because Father's Day was a few weeks ago. But we do know from most of the data that we see that if we get an uptick and a big swing, it's usually from something that happened, 14 days ago or a little bit more than 14 days ago. It depends on, how far behind they are on their testing. Our governor said that we're keeping up pretty good with our testing. So whatever's going on had to have happened, I guess it would be 3 weeks now because I noticed the upswing 7 to 8 days ago. And I'm keeping a very close eye on it. I told Jamie yesterday we are not going to Los Lunas no more because it is such a small community. You're more likely to run into somebody there with the disease than if you go to Bernalillo County, where Albuquerque, the core of Albuquerque has many more people, and yes, their numbers are like 2,755, but take that 2,755 by how many people live there in Bernalillo County. I think that you're going to find that your likelihood of finding or running into somebody with it is going to be a lot less. So anyway, where was I? Oh, about the mask. Like I thoroughly enjoy, this is a lie. That was totally a lie right there. I thoroughly enjoy pulling up to the parking lot at the store, having to unbuckle, put my, pull my hair. Well, my hair is usually pulled back, but I usually try to take a drink of something, do whatever I have to do, blow my nose, do this, do that. And I put my mask on, and then I have to, I used to wear gloves. I'm not wearing gloves anymore because, I noticed it started to do something weird in my hands. My hands started peeling. The skin peeling. It was icky. Ew. Anyway, so it's just the mask. But then I have to get out of the car, and I need to put on this fanny pack that I wear because I don't like carrying my regular purse because it hurts my shoulder, and I don't want to put it in the shopping cart, so I carry the fanny pack. And one thing I don't do. This is the number one. Well, number one is always wear the mask. Number two is I don't care if God himself calls me on the phone when I'm in the store. I do not touch my phone from the time I go into a store until I get home. Yes, I carry it with me in case of an emergency, but I do not answer calls from Joe Blow or whoever. I just will not touch my phone. So, it's an inconvenience. It really is. But I know that I'm doing my part to keep my family healthy, at least as healthy as I can. and anybody else out there that I may not know or I may know. You know, it's like I was saying the other day, yes, this is an inconvenience, and this may be a year-long inconvenience. This may be an 18-month inconvenience. This may be a lifetime inconvenience for us. You don't know where this is going to go, and you don't know what is going to be around the bend and what might be next. But by following the rules, you've done everything you can. If you don't follow the rules, you're responsible for things being worse than they are now. That's just the way it is. And I was saying to Jamie, if you could bring back any relative that may have died during this COVID or may have died any time by following the rules that now and being, inconvenienced for this period of time that we're going to be inconvenienced, would you not hand over that year, that 18 months, whatever you had to hand over to get that person back in your life? I think most of you would. And, think of it like that. Don't be selfish. A friend of mine posted on Facebook this morning something about, I don't know how many times I have to say this, 2020 is canceled. And that's basically the truth. I mean, we're in a perfect storm right now. Anyway, I wanted to tell, a little bit about why it hasn't been as hard on me to transition into what's been going on. I talked about the agoraphobia. I talked about the GBS. I talked about becoming obsessive and compulsive. And, also, I grew up with a father who was in the Depression. He was born in 1917. And it was bad for them. They were a very, very, very poor family. My dad used to have to walk the railroad tracks to pick up coal just to warm the house in the wintertime. It was bad. And so when my father got older and he was beginning to make money and stuff, he would buy things. And he stocked up on a lot of stuff. I mean, like, they talk about the toilet paper crisis or toilet paper shortage of 2020. My father always had a wall in a room, 10 by 12, floor to ceiling, wall to wall of toilet paper. So, I grew up that way. So it wasn't unusual to see it. Toilet paper, Kleenex, napkins, you name it, we had it. And food up the yin yang, canned food, dried food, you name it. So by seeing my father come home all the time with these bags of groceries and seeing them in the house, it just rubbed off on me. And I knew that was the way you were supposed to live. And so that's the way I've always lived. And when we moved here to where we live now in Correo, we live at the very end of a road. I've filmed it many times, so I'm sure many of you have seen it. And when it rains, it floods. And when it floods bad. And we can be stuck back here. Well, we've been stuck back here for I think it was 4 weeks one time because of the winter and the ice and everything. Well, let me tell you, 4 weeks, if you haven't stocked up and done what you're supposed to, you're going to get mighty hungry. And I can say that in the times that we've been stuck back here because of weather, that has not happened to our family because I have always been a prepper and been sure that, the only thing different about this time around is we didn't have a lot of dish soap, hand sanitizer, those sort of things. So that kind of threw me off. But I started stocking up at the very beginning of March because I knew something was coming for a long time now. I had a feeling about it. I just wasn't sure how long it would take before it got here. And so, but I did not really stock up on that stuff. I was too busy getting the food and the water and the things like that. But I'm doing pretty good now. About, the only thing we still can't get, you have to make your own face masks. We can't get the masks like the N95s, even the ones that, you use for painting and things like that. They don't even have those at Home Depot. So that was one thing I was not as prepared on, because we only own like 4 of them, and I clean them with 91% alcohol, which I am so grateful. I finally found 91% alcohol in the store, and I've been able to buy 4 bottles of it. So I'm happy about that. I buy it every time I see it. Um, and then, like, also, just moving here to New Mexico, I've had to get used to a lot of different things, and it's just a whole different way of life than from where I came from in Oregon. And I actually think I'm going to cover that in another video, because that just like covers a whole lot more stuff than I really want to talk about right now. But, as far as social distancing goes too, I have no friends. I mean, I know that sounds really pathetic, but it's really true. I really have no friends. I mean, when you define a friend, that's somebody you go to the store with, or you go to their party, or you go to their house for dinner. I don't have one friend like that, not one. Have not for years. All I have is my family. So I don't need a social distance from the people I've been quarantined with. So I have this real issue with people getting close to me. And when I say close to me, I say at least 6 feet. I don't want people in my aura. I want them away from me. It's like, I don't want them touching me. Don't hug me. Don't leave me alone is basically how I live my life. And I like it that way. I don't want people near me. And so that was not hard to get used to either. It was, because I used to be a very touchy-feely person. And then I don't know what happened. Something flipped, and I'm just not. Now I'm this prickly cactus. But, I guess the message of this video is, you can get used to anything. You just need to do it. Seriously. I mean, we're not a family that goes out and does a lot of things. I guess through this whole thing, the thing I missed the most is sometimes I'd get a hair up my butt and I'd want to just go to the store just to go. I can't just fly like that anymore. It just doesn't work that way anymore. And the other thing is that we finally got to a point in our lives, David and I both, where, because he retired and he's been collecting his Social Security and still working, we could actually afford to travel. And we've been traveling now, oh God, I think 2014, Jamie, was that the first year we started traveling?
Yeah.
When we went to Vegas and stuff?
I think you went with Angel or Casey in
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah, 2013. And then it was, Jamie and I, or Casey and I, but David and I started traveling, I guess, last 3 years maybe. And we always go to Arizona because we're just such boring people. Anyway, then that's been hard, because I do miss that. Arizona's like, my soul state. I love it, and I miss it dearly, and I miss that I'm not going to be able to go there this year. Vampy's getting a little choked up. Sorry. Or I might not be able to even go next year. I don't know. Who knows? And you just, yeah, it's a sacrifice. But if we all sacrifice together and we all do this together, like, I don't know if this was a video I said this in, or if it was just my family I said it to, but okay, think of it like this. If you quarantine with your family, and that's all you quarantine with in your house, and then, like David, that's my husband, he has to work. And let's say everybody at work does that very same thing, and they come home and they only associate with the family that they've been quarantining with. And then they come to work, and then they are, of course, that's a little bit bigger, network, but those are the only people that they see at work. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like you've got your little hub quarantine, and then you've got your big quarantine. If people would do that, because it seems to be working at David's work. He has worked through this whole thing. I mean, I think there was a time he had maybe a week off or so. But so far, and they've got, how many people work where you work, David? 35. That's a lot of people when you think about how many people those people interact with, and And they've been very lucky, you know, knock on wood, knock on wood. You know, they've all been able to stay healthy, and they wear masks at work. David doesn't enjoy that either, but he wears it all day long because they have to wear a mask. Excuse me. So, you know, I guess it all boils down to it's sacrifice. Everybody has to sacrifice. I mean, think about something you sacrificed for in your life that in the end you got something really great out of it. Well, this is like that too. It's the same thing. So, this is Vampyresskiss.
An angel.
Yeah, an angel. He just sitting over there playing this game, saying like, subscribe, smash the notification bell, share, do the right thing. Peace out. Always one soul. Back for a quick second. Jamie says she wants us to go viral. Mask it or casket. It's like, what was the one?
Click it or ticket.
Click it or ticket. Remember how hard that was to get used to wearing a seatbelt? Of course, I had no issue with it, but you know, I'm a weird ass person. What can I say? But a lot of people did. They thought their rights were being squashed. And how many of you have had tragedies and you're glad you had that seatbelt on? There's a good example. So, mask it or casket.
So if you go out into the woods today,